The Israeli Knesset vote to ban UNRWA has sparked an international outcry, with Israel defying calls from the Biden administration, which has warned that the legislation could prompt an even greater humanitarian crisis in Gaza. Many seeing the agency as an irreplaceable lifeline for hundreds of thousands of starving people in Gaza. However, the Israeli government sees it as an accomplice of Hamas. The United Nations Security Council will be addressing the matter later today. Irris Makler joins us now live from Jerusalem. Irris, Israel's relationship with UNRWA has long been driven by mistrust. So what is behind it?
That's right. You know, UNRWA is a decades-old organisation, and perhaps at the start, Israel and UNRWA were frenemies, if you like, friendly enemies. But now the enmity is out in the open. We heard the chief executive of UNRWA, Filippo Lazzarini, calling this was in the first 3 months of the war at the end of last year, saying that Israel's intention was simply to wipe UNRWA out. Now, he's a foreign national living overseas. Most of the people who work for UNRWA are, in fact, locals living in Gaza or in the West Bank. Some say that it's actually the second government in the Palestinian territories when the primary government isn't functioning. So their view is that Israel's out to destroy them. The Israeli view, as we've heard in the parliament over the past few hours and yesterday as well, is that they are accomplices of Hamas, working hand in glove with Hamas, and at times even having Hamas within the organisation. There was an allegation made by Israel earlier in the year that this was the case. They named 9 people, in fact 12, 3 were dead. 9 people were fired from UNRWA on the basis that they had taken part in the October the 7th attacks. There was a UN investigation into that, headed by a French politician, Catherine Colonna. It was a 2-part investigation. Only her part was ever carried out. The second one, which was really going to look at the meat of these allegations, we've never seen the light of day, or that investigation has never seen the light of day. So there is this backwards and forwards between the two that isn't resolved. We've seen during this war, let's not forget, many allegations by the Israeli military as it uncovers tunnels leading right from an UNRWA school down into a weapons stash. They have further allegations of this kind, consistently put no meaningful response from UNRWA or Filippo Lazzarini, in fact, at any time. So other than saying they don't know anything about it, there hasn't been a response that actually gets to the nitty-gritty of this. And I think that's the root of the problem between these two organisations. UNRWA functioning in a Hamas-run Gaza, and Israel impatient with that.
What will be the consequences, however, for Palestinians on the ground, Irris?
It's an interesting question because it's not clear to me if this is anything more than declaratory at the moment. But if it is more than declaratory, because of the huge role that UNRWA has played for decades now, it would have an immediate effect on Palestinians in the West Bank, particularly poor Palestinians. Palestinians still living in what they call refugee camps many years after that original displacement of 48 or of 67 took place. Now we're seeing new displacements, especially in the Gaza Strip. If there is no UN body, it's not entirely a UN body, it's a complicated situation, but it comes under the United Nations, funded from outside the United Nations by member states. If there's no body like this and there isn't a functioning government, which is true at various times in Gaza and in the West Bank, then the impact for ordinary civilians who rely on it for food, schooling, healthcare could be vast.